The Bad Batch is back for one more adventure, and it seems as if the final season is looking to tie into multiple aspects of the Star Wars franchise. As Omega and Crosshair work together to get free of Dr. Hemlock, it seems as though the Emperor himself will be taking a vested interest in Omega and the Bad Batch. Omega is essential to Palpatine and what he has stored in the vault at the Mount Tantiss base. The vault is a source of great curiosity among fans, yet there are a few theories about what is stored in the vault that seem particularly important. In the first few episodes of The Bad Batch Season 3, a highly secure and secretive vault is shown at the Imperial base at Mount Tantiss. The vault is protected by stormtroopers, clone commandos, and an array of other security measures including energy barriers like the ones on Naboo in The Phantom Menace. With all of the secrecy and the series itself playing coy about giving away too much about what's in the vault, it's clear that Palpatine's vault is of great importance. Fans are itching to find out exactly what is locked away from prying eyes, and it may be that the specimens inside the vault are of huge value to the future of Star Wars. In Season 3, Episode 3, Shadow of Tantiss, fans finally get their first glimpse inside the mysterious vault. It is full of tubes with metal shielding that can only be cloning tubes. The specimens in the tubes are clearly part of Project Necromancer, the plan to bring Palpatine back to life if he dies. This immediately has fans thinking that these tubes must contain the early clones of what would become Supreme Leader Snoke of the First Order. Dr. Hemlock is a brilliant, if evil, scientist, and presumably will be the first person to crack how to create Force-sensitive clones. This makes perfect sense then that he would also pioneer the work on Snoke before the Empire fell. When fans first met Snoke in The Force Awakens, not much was known about the character. The rumor mill and online theories were working overtime on every possibility of who or what Snoke could be. All of these theories and rumors were dashed against the theoretical rocks when Snoke was killed in The Last Jedi. Fans were of course shocked, and all speculation on Snoke mostly ended until The Rise of Skywalker came out and revealed that Snoke was indeed a clone that Palpatine used to sustain his life after his near-death on the Death Star 2. As Kylo Ren entered the Sith base on Exegol, he walked past numerous tubes, similar to the other cloning vats in Star Wars, and in some of them were old Snoke clones. Snoke had been essential to rebuilding the Empire under the guise of the First Order, which in turn led to Palpatine trying to bring back the Final Order and completing Project Necromancer. Dr. Hemlock could be starting the work that Dr. Pershing picks up later in The Mandalorian. Snoke was not created overnight. It likely will take the Empire years to gather the resources and knowledge to perfect the process. If it had been perfected by Return of the Jedi, then Palpatine would have been back at the start of The Force Awakens. If Snoke is in the vats at the Mount Tantiss vault, then it would help to make Snoke's role in the sequels more meaningful. Fans would be able to see the work that went into keeping Palpatine alive, instead of seeing it as a messy behind-the-scenes decision from the studio. The Bad Batch has a chance to become essential to the fabric of Star Wars in a way that has a massive lasting impact. Grogu being locked away in the Emperor's vault is less likely, but it cannot be ruled out entirely. Fans have speculated that Gideon, Dr. Pershing, and the Imperial Remnant wanted Grogu back to create Force-sensitive clones. Yoda and Yaddle were incredibly powerful Jedi Masters who were known for their strength in the Force. With them being the same species as Grogu, it would make sense that he would also possess a high midichlorian level and a strong connection to the Force. With Dr. Hemlock trying to transfer midichlorians, or M-count, to a new host, Grogu could be a valuable resource for the Imperial scientists to have. In the era of the Empire, the last fans saw Grogu was when he was escaping the Jedi Temple with Kelleran and Beck. Kelleran evacuated Grogu from the Jedi Temple, with many other Jedi giving their lives so that Grogu could escape. After that, there's a long period where Grogu's whereabouts are unknown. Even with Kelleran protecting him, Grogu could have fallen back into the hands of the Empire, maybe Darth Vader even killing Kelleran and taking Grogu back to the Empire as a prize. The Emperor could have put Grogu into some kind of stasis tank to keep him alive with the most minimal effort. The other tanks in the vault could be failed clones that had too much M-count degradation or failed completely. The Emperor wouldn't be likely to give his blood to be worked on, so he would want another being with a high M-count, one that matches or exceeds his. Yoda is out of reach, Luke isn't a known figure yet, which leaves Grogu as the perfect candidate. The Mandalorian made it seem like Grogu was of particular importance to the Empire and the Jedi during Order 66, and it could have been because of his high M-count and the potential of his DNA. For a long time, fans have held the theory that the Bad Batch may have rescued Grogu from the Empire and used their mercenary contacts to set him up with protection. This theory was thought to be dead when Kelleran rescued him, but it could be back on the table. As the Bad Batch comes into conflict with Dr. Hemlock more because of Omega's importance to Project Necromancer, they may end up breaking into the Emperor's vault and finding Grogu. They wouldn't leave him there and could end up freeing him from Imperial experiments. Ventress is another, albeit unlikely, theory for who could be in the tubes. The character was presumed to be dead following her story in Dark Disciple, but if Palpatine and the Empire were somehow able to dig up her grave and bring her back to Tantiss, that would explain her eventual appearance in the third season of the show. Although using Night Sister magic to resurrect an individual would give the figure apparent signs of being brought back from the dead, The Empire's more scientific methods could explain why she looks fairly normal when she runs into the Bad Batch later on. Another broader theory that I briefly mentioned in my review was that the tubes could be full of captured Jedi following Order 66 in the Jedi Purge, similar to what we saw in the Fortress Inquisitorius in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Whether they were captured alive or deceased, having a load of Force users in stasis would surely come in handy while experimenting with midichlorians and the ability to transfer them from body to clone. What did you think of the Bad Batch Season 3 premiere? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for coverage of the Bad Batch as a new episode premieres every week. And remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you. Always.